There was a place that brought such love and joy. It was a welcome place for every single girl and boy. From children up to seniors, each age would be in a choir. And it is so good for you to be here today. The family is in such grief and sorrow. They're just heartbroken, but they so appreciate you coming out today and supporting them in this time of loss. And so many times in situations like this, we go to the Psalms. So I would like to read Psalms 23 to you, because it comforts us in situations like, I'm sorry. Excuse me, these are my prepared notes for an 80-year-old man. Just a minute. Oh, of course, I apologize. I am so embarrassed. I never speak like that. I take it all back. The family is not sorry, and they are not sad, and they are not glad that you all came out today. I take it all back. Because we're here for a celebration. We're here to celebrate who is the birthday girl. Who are we here to celebrate? These are not rhetorical questions. I do not want to make a mistake again. And what with exercise and good diet and Botox, I got a good dozen candidates for 80. I got one good candidate for dead. So would everyone please point to the birthday girl? Wait, I know you. You know me. We're a happy family. Here's a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say that you are my dear friend, Perry Mara Clare? Perry Mara! It is so good. Perry Mara and I go back years. 80 years old? How in the world does that happen? But for those who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I am the Reverend Billy Bob Buford, Reverend Billy Bob Buford Ministries, Mudsuck, Georgia. That's all the address you need. And whenever I speak, people ask me 3 questions. And the first question they ask me is, Reverend Billy Bob, who are you? And I say, I'm Reverend Billy Bob Buford of Reverend Billy Bob Buford Ministries, Mudsuck, Georgia. That's all the address you need. I tell them I'm one of the leading suppository speakers among Baptists today. And why is that? Because I reach out and touch people where they are sitting. I am also the head of Reverend Billy Bob Buford Ministries, as I said, which you can reach day or night by calling 1-800-BILLY-BO. The second question I am asked is, Reverend Billy Bob, why are you here? And I say it's because my church is mission-minded. Well, actually, what the chairman of the deacons, Deacon Justin, said to me was that the church wouldn't mind mission me for a few Sundays. And the third question I'm always asked is, Reverend Billy Bob, what are you going to speak about? And I'm going to speak about 15 minutes. And all the people said, amen. 80 years old. Well, you know, when you think about it, 80 isn't that, well, you know what they say? 80 is the new, well, you know, 80 is just old. There's no way to dress up that big. You are 4/5 of a century old. That's 8 decades. You are 80. You are Civil War old. My word. You're 560 years old to a dog. You know, if you had a penny for every year you've been alive, you would have 80 cents. That's 8 dimes. That's 3/4 and a nickel. That's 1/4 4 dimes, 2 nickels and 5 pennies. It's a fistful of change. My goodness, how in the world did that happen? Well, it's fortunate because I think an 80-year-old woman is going to appreciate the sermon which I have prepared for you today, which is, how can I live to be 100 years old? How can I live to be 100 years old? But before I begin, I really should let you know who put on this fine party so that you know who to blame for it. It was, of course, put on by Perry Mara's 2 children that she knows of, Jorah and Lon. And Lon's wife, Cindy, put on this fine, fine party. And I would ask you to give them a round of applause, but it would just go to their head. And of course, I see that all 5 of your grandchildren are here. Oh, she loves you so much and is so proud of some of you. I'm kidding, of course, she's not proud of some of you. And I see other members of your distended family are here. And I guess everyone else here must be your good friends and the waitstaff. Perry Mara, you look around this room. These are your friends. These are your family. These are the people who wanted to be here for you. They said they did not want to miss this special day, provided there was cake. You know, there's one person who's not here and we need to acknowledge it, and that's her dear husband, Don. And if he were here today, do you know where he'd be? He would not be sitting next to her. A man who was willing to carry a suitcase-sized camera on his shoulder that took VHS tapes would surely have had a smartphone or an iPad. And he'd be wandering out here taking a movie of everything. And the very minute it was over, he would try to show you the movie of what you just lived through. And what we wouldn't give to sit with him today and watch one of those old VHS tapes. Don is not with us. But you are, and you need to hear my sermon. And my convention is entitled, How Can I Live to Be 100 Years Old? Or to say it another way, how can I live to be 100 years old? But I can see by the puzzled look on your faces, unless that's the way you always look, I don't know you, that you're asking yourself, why? Why is there a Baptist preacher at a birthday party? Couldn't they get a clown? Couldn't they get another kind of clown? And the reason is because I'm here to speak about church and church music. You see, if Perry Mara's life was, say a caramel cake. If her life was a caramel cake, then church and church music would be a big slice of that cake. And by big, I mean Clyde size. You see, Perry Mara was born Perry Mara Morris in Vienna, Georgia, which, coincidentally, is spelled exactly like Vienna, Austria. Though I'm pretty sure that's where the similarity ends. She was born one door away from the Baptist church. And when I mean born, she was born in the house that was one house away from First Baptist at Vienna. And the house between her and the church was where the pastor lived. It was quicker for her to go to church than go to the bathroom. Her parents were bulwarks of the church, and her brothers became little bulls of the church. Though I don't believe anyone did the little bull as good as your older brother. It was there at First Baptist Vienna she began to love church music. And she learned something that she's carried with her, this truth that she's carried with her all through her life. This is what she learned. If you will accompany the choir on the organ or the piano, they won't ask you to keep the nursery during extended sessions. And that's what she did. She took her musical talents and went on to Bessie Tift College, which today is abandoned. And then she went on to many of the local churches, and wherever she served, she did everything church music. She led the choirs. She taught the children. She taught the handbells. She taught New Testament handbell. Do you know what New Testament handbell is? That's when the right hand does not know what the left hand is. And if there was a vocal equivalent of that for a choir, she probably directed some of those too. She was part of a group of women who went around the state singing. They were called the Jubal Hares. The Jubal Hares, this was to distinguish them from the men's group named after Jubal in the Bible, who didn't have any hair. They were mostly bald ministers of music who were too good to sing in their own church choirs. But they would go around the state. In short, she has done everything musical. Everything musical. When she started church music, contemporary church music meant a song that was written after 1880. And now, contemporary church music means that Perry Mary's ready to keep the nursery. I know another thing she's ready for. She is ready to hear my sermon, which I may have mentioned is entitled, How Can I Live to Be 100 years old? Or if I may emphasize it a slightly different way, how can I live to be 100 years old? But you know, I bet you're thinking the same thing I am. She directed choirs. She played in choirs. She played the organ with her hands and her feet. She directed handbells. She played instruments. She led children's musicals, Baptist Broadway productions of all sorts of things. She did everything musical. It's reasonable to ask, did she ever write any church music? And of course the answer is yes, she did. I have found a piece of music that she wrote, I think somewhere in the late 60s or the early 70s. This song is very original. And the rhythm of the music gives proof that her Baptist parents didn't allow dancing in the home. Now, I'm about to sing this, we're going to sing this song, and when you hear it, she's probably going to just humbly say, she doesn't ever remember this song, and she didn't sing it. She didn't write this song at all. But that's just a sign of her great humility. But I believe once you hear the song, you'll agree with me that her humility is about the right size. So I'm going to ask my brothers, Billy Bob Buford and Bobby Bob Buford, to come join me, and we are going to sing this song, which is entitled The Little White Church. It's no surprise at all that she would write a hymn, though in a fit of women's liberation, she called it a her. Because I don't think it's safe. I think we'll sing from the floor.
We were young, there was a place that brought such love and joy. It was a welcome place for every single girl and boy. From children up to seniors, each age would be in a choir and sing those hymns that set your soul aflame. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. the little white church with the steeple on top, in the wildwood by the old campground, next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle unbroken and your prayer wheel turning all right, or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing deep and wide. As we all get much older, we see life moves on so fast, and we look back so longingly when we recall the past. Perhaps we should slow down enough to remember this truth. Let's return to the worship of our childhood. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, in the wildwood by the old campground, next to the river that flows from the throne of God. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, in the wildwood by the old campground, next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle unbroken and your prayer wheel turning all right, or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing deep and wide. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, with the bright choir robes that make your eyes go pop, in the wildwood by the old campground, next to the river that goes from the throne of God. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, and the deacons out front all smoking non-stop, in the wildwood by the old campground, next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle unbroken and your prayer wheel turning all right, or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing deep and wide. Or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing and wide. Or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing and wide.
And what better to follow a choral anthem such as that, but with a sermon. And it just so happens I have a sermon that I'd like to speak to you today about. And the title, which I may have mentioned, is How Can I Live to Be 100 Years Old? Or, how can I live to be 100 years old? But I can't move on without answering a question that I know has occurred to you. Why? Why did she stick with church music, especially teaching children, for so long? You might say it's because she loves music, but to be honest, people who love music don't work with children. Because you remember, for every one child musical prodigy, you got to listen to 9,999 child musical tragedies. Some of you probably are familiar with a popular television show that just went off the air called Breaking Bad. This was a story about a high school chemistry teacher who decides to start making and selling drugs. What they didn't tell you in the TV series is that most of those drugs went to middle school and high school band and choral directors to get them through their rehearsal periods. If you love music, you don't work and spend with children. So it's not because she loved music. There must be another reason. And I think I know what that reason is. I think it's because she had the fruits of the Spirit. Do you know the fruits of the Spirit? Of course you do. Love, joy, peace, patience, doctors, nurses, godliness, cleanliness, and cruise control. Let's just talk about the first three, shall we? Love, joy, and peace. Does Perry Mara have love? Of course she does. She loves music and she loves children. You have to love children if you're going to teach them music, because you know you can work with them every hour for every week for a whole year. And you will take children who can't even read and she will teach them Bible verses. And she will get them all to sing roughly the same tune at roughly the same time. And she will drag them up there in front of a big church full of people and adults just staring at them. And she will get them and she will prepare them so they sing perfectly. And she knows in her heart of hearts, come performance time, at least one girl is going to lift her skirt above her head. And two little boys are going to bury their fingers so far up their noses that you're going to swear they're scratching the back of their eyeball. It's only love that makes you go through that year in and year out. So she has love. Does she have joy? Well, yes. Look at her face. Those aren't worry lines you see there. Those are laugh lines. She's laughed her whole life. She has laughed so hard, she sometimes wets her fingers. Now, I'm not saying she's the next June Allison, mind you, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. In our world today, there are a lot of people who would pay money to be able to laugh that hard in their lives. She has joy, 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 joy down in her heart. And sometimes right down her leg. So she has joy and she has love. But does she have peace? Does she have peace? It's so hard to determine. All I can tell you is, I know she has a little peace. Because I have never failed to eat with her when dessert was offered, when she did not say, I'll have a little piece. Her brother has a lot more peace, because every time they offer it to him, he says, I'll have a piece of each. So you have love, joy, and peace. I believe that is why she is stuck with what she's done. And you are stuck with hearing this sermon today. To share with you today, which, have I mentioned the title? It's How Can I Live to Be 100 Years Old? But you know what? You seem to enjoy music so much that I took it upon myself to invite the choir to come sing today. The FCWLAHHDISAC graciously agreed to appear in concert today. Are you familiar with this organization, FCWLAHHDISAC? I guess you don't have any of their albums. They are the first church, Wilshire, Love and Hellfire, Hard to Inspire, Small Adult Choir. And I have asked them to come sing a hymn, a favorite hymn of Perry Mara players. You know, there's some hymns you sing in your life, but it takes some maturity, it takes some years for you to appreciate it. You don't appreciate the song When We All Get to Heaven until you've lived long enough to have people go on ahead of you to heaven that you want to see. You don't appreciate What a Friend We Have in Jesus until you're in a situation in life when Jesus is your only friend. And I believe this hymn is something that only now can you really appreciate. And so I want to ask the choir to come forward now and sing. And you know what would be really nice? Is if Perry Mara herself would come and be the soloist with the choir. Would you come forward with the choir? It would be so wonderful. I'd like to introduce the First Church of Wilshire, Love and Hellfire, Hard to Inspire, Small Adult Choir. With guest soloist, Perry Mara Player. I told you it was a small adult choir.
No matter how young your Baby Prudence like his dad, but he ain't wrinkled half so bad. Now we have wrinkles on our face, but Prudy has them every place. No matter how young a fruit may be, he's always getting bruised. Little seed inside the ruin. Is it night or is it noon? What you doing, Bruin? Stewing?
Of the literally thousands of songs that Carrie Mary Claire has sung in her life, this is the song that her family most closely associates her with. Though I'm thinking what you do in Pruin, while it would be certainly interesting on a tombstone, is probably not the appropriate message. And I hope we don't even have to discuss tombstones for many years to come, especially if you listen to my sermon, which I have entitled. And if you would just stay focused long enough and stop distracting me, I really think you're going to get something out of this message. How can I live to be 100 years old? How can I live to be 100 years old? Don't die. If you'd like a taped copy of this perspirational message, I encourage you to call 1-800-BILLYBO and ask for tape number 3. Aren't you glad that Carrie Mary Claire didn't die? And I don't know why she has lived so long. Some people say it's genetic, that she got her genes from her mom. But I knew Gladys Morris, and I cannot picture her in jeans. So I am going to attribute it to her church music and her church service. That's what's kept her young and alive. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed listening to me half as much as I have enjoyed speaking to you, then I have enjoyed speaking to you twice as much as you have enjoyed listening to me, and that's just math. Carrie Mary, I want to give you a gift. A gift that is absolutely priceless and yet costs me nothing. Advice. And this advice is my present to you, and I'm going to present this present to all of those present presently, if you don't mind. This is a piece of wisdom that I want to share with you. You hold on to this piece of wisdom because it is true. Okay? When you listen to God, He hears you. Let me say that again. When you listen to God, He hears you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you came today. I'm the Reverend Billy Bob Buford, Reverend Billy Bob Buford Ministries, Mudsuck, Georgia. That's all the address you need. And I think, in closing, I would just like to say as a benediction, happy birthday, Paramedic. I want us all to say that, though better than I just did. Happy birthday, Carrie Mary Claire.
There was a place that brought such love and joy. It was a welcome place for every single girl and boy. From children up to seniors, each age would be in a choir and sing those hymns that set your soul aflame. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle on much older, we see life moves on so fast. And we look back so longingly when we recall the past. Perhaps we should slow down enough to remember this truth. Let's return to the worship of our childhood. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle unbroken and your prayer wheel turning all right, or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing deep and wide. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, with the bright wire ropes that make your eyes go pop, in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that goes from the throne of God. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top, and the deacons out front all smoking non-stop, in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the throne of God. You've got to keep the circle unbroken and your prayer wheel turning all right, or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing deep and wide. Or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing and wide. Or you'll drown in the fountain that's flowing and There was a place that brought such love and joy. It was a welcome place for every single girl and boy. From children up to seniors, each age would be in a choir and sing those hymns that set your soul aflame. Come to the little white church with the steeple on top in the wildwood by the old campground next to the river that flows from the